I know what you are thinking. It's a late night show. Welcome back. Guys, remember the video I did yesterday about the DALY BMS and the 4S configuration we had here when we found out, well, when I found out that it's not the highest cell which gets balanced, but it's all the cells which are getting balanced, but not the one with the lowest voltage, right? Big breakthrough. Make DALY great again. Well, I don't know how to say it, but I think I made a mistake. And I'm just going through all the comments on this video, and a few people have actually found out that I made a mistake. Again, once again, Andy made a mistake. That's what it is. Okay, I cleaned up my desk before that. There was nothing on the desk here anymore. And I set up the DALY and the 4S batteries here again. We quickly confirm that the DALY is not great, right? Okay, let's do it. Here's the setup. Look at this. Nice and clean. DALY BMS, 4 balance leads, 4 batteries. And yes, we have Bluetech here in Australia. And this time I want to measure all the balance currents from all 4 cells quickly. And we also have to have a good look if the current is positive or negative. Because I think I made the mistake yesterday, and people are absolutely correct in the comments. One of the currents was negative. So that means this was the return current going into the negative terminal of this battery, which we measured on the other side. So I think Paul is actually right. And he said, ha ha ha, you absolute legend, Andy. I love it when people prove me wrong by doing proper testing like this, because I learned something. Well, Paul, I think you should have done your own testing, really. So if Paul is actually right, Jeremy is wrong. And Jeremy was a bit jealous, and he said, I love how Power Paul gets all the credit, even though I told you this in my comment in your last video, which you responded to. Like I said before, the BMS will only balance the cells that are above either the pack average or above the lowest cell voltage. So, well, I went ahead. I said, yeah, you are right. You told me this before. I remember now. This was one of the 1600 comments I went through in the last couple of days. So I pinned Jeremy's to the top of the comment list. But I think I have to put Paul in there again. And Jonathan said, Paul is indeed correct. When you measured the current on the cell 2, the current is negative. So you are not measuring the discharge on cell 2, you are measuring the current going to cell 3, to the negative terminal. And will process, this is all rubbish here, you can only do the test with frozen green beans. What? Welcome back to another video here from the Off-Grid Garage in Australia. Yeah, well, here, Australia. Okay, so tonight with a very clean setup. I'm not bothering putting these ones in again. Even someone told me I can actually calibrate them with these little 2 podies there. I will play around with this later on and see if this makes sense. We can get them a little bit more sensitive. So we've got our BMS here. Negative is connected to the negative. And we've got our balance leads here, which I will connect now with our balance cables here. So this is number 1. Here's number 2. Let's just quickly swap out the. Then we've got the positive here of the ampere meter, goes all the way to the red crocodile cable here and goes to our positive of our cell number 4 at the moment. And the negative of our ampere meter goes to the black crocodile cable here, and this will be our balance lead number 4, just for the time. Okay, we turn this baby on here. The app. Okay, I think I need to press the button again, otherwise it doesn't show up. There it is. I like this function, that's really good. Okay, let's have a quick look at the cell voltages here. 3.384, 3.4. Okay, cell number 3, as always, is our high cell, and we've got 17 milliamps here for the BMS to supply power. Speaking about power, here we go. Over here, and we've got 1.3 amps going into the battery, and I haven't changed any settings, so we are still on 3.2 volt start balancing voltage, and balance open diff voltage is still 20 millivolt. We cannot go any further down. Balancer has turned on already, and cell number 3 is now peaking. Works totally fine. The balancing worked only for a moment. Okay, let's discharge the battery first. Discharging with 7 amps. Okay, that should do it. We've got 40 millivolt deviation and the balancer has turned on. It is balancing not this one here. Definitely not this one. Okay, quickly turn off the power supply and swap this one over to cell number 3. So cell number 4 is our lowest voltage cell. No balancing here at all. I have to disconnect the BMS. I'm not comfortable to just swap the balance leads out here. It should be fine actually, it should be fine. Okay, and now we move the... Okay, I have now put the ampere meter to cell number 3 here, and we will see what the balancer does. Start up the BMS. There it is. Nice. Here it comes. Okay, so here's the balance current of cell number 3. I turn on the charger. Yeah, we are charging with 1.4 amps. Balancer has turned on, which is good. Do we see a balance current here? No, nothing so far. Nothing. We've got 29 millivolt deviation. It should actually turn on. Why is it not turning on? Come on, be great again. It is not balancing at all. Even we have reached the balance voltage and the deviation. And we are charging and the balancer is turned on. No amps at all. There it is, 15-20 millivolt. We've got balancing happening. Positive means current is going from the battery through the ampere meter into the balance lead, into the BMS. So this is definitely a discharge current for cell number 3. Okay, turn off the charger again. Yeah, balancing stops straight away. Okay, let me flick this one over to... We try. Let's keep the BMS running while I change the balance leads. If I totally f up the BMS now, well, I'm just getting a new one. It's a DALY. The BMS has actually survived. Yeah, it's still active. Turn on the charger again. So we are measuring now cell number 2 and we want to see what's going on. And people are right. Look at this, minus 23. It is a negative symbol. That means the power is going the other way back into the battery. This is coming from cell number 3. Balance current we have just measured now flows back into the negative terminal of cell number 3, and that's why it is negative. I did not pay attention to that at all yesterday. Very good pickup of you guys. Nice. If cell number 2 would balance as well now, we should not see any current here at all, because there would be current going out of cell number 2 as well, and it would compensate against the current going back into cell number 3. So obviously it is only discharging cell number 3, right? Okay, 3.66 we have, and turns off right now. Okay, let me quickly discharge again. Turning on the charger again. There's a balance current coming out of number 1. What is going on here? It is balancing number 1, 3.36. What is the lowest? The lowest is still number 4. Yes, number 4 is still the lowest. Balance current coming out of number 1. So it has balance number 1 and number 3. Are these the two highest maybe? They are. At least at the moment. Number 3 and number 1 are both the highest 2 cells. So does it balance only the 2 highest cells in the pack? Only 2 of them, not 3, not 1? Just the first 2? Just the top 2? What is going on? What is going on here? 26 milliamps we are discharging here. Why is this happening? So it looks like it is balancing number 3 and number 1, but not number 2 and not number 4. Number 1 is the highest. number 3 is the second highest, and number 2 and number 4 are both lower. Okay, how do you make sense out of that now? This is insane. Okay, I'll turn off the charger for a moment. I want to measure number 2 again. I want to see this negative current again between. I want to experience that again. Okay, so okay, we've got the ampere meter again on cell number 2, positive, and turning on the charger again. Really, guys, really? We are balancing only number 1 and number 3, obviously, at the moment. Is that correct? Here, number 1 and number 3 are both the highest, and 2 and 4 are the lowest in this pack, in this configuration, and we are balancing only 3 and 1. Okay, let's try something else. Let's just discharge number 3. Right, this is always our highest cell. I'll make this one the lowest. Come on, number 3, you're going down. So if it only balances the first 2 cells, that actually means nobody was right and nobody was wrong. That is an outcome I have not expected, really. That is crazy. We are measuring number 2. Balancer is turned on, and it is not balancing cell number 3 anymore. Okay, highest is number 1 now. Second highest is number 4. Okay, let's I know, right? Let's measure number 4 again. Okay, voltage number 1 is high and the others are the same. Okay, turn on the charger, see what's happening. And we can see 17 milliamps only here on number 4. Balancer is on. Does it balance number 4 now? No, it doesn't. Number 1 is high and number 2 is high. Oh, really? Okay, so I think the conclusion now is this is all shit. I need 3 more reliable ampere meters to put them all in the line, and then we can see what's going on. This is just not working. I cannot quickly enough change the ampere meter around into the balance leads and do a consistent, precise measurement of this stuff. Okay, unfortunately I have to discontinue this video until these ampere meters arrive. I really thought I could do this with 1 ampere meter, but it's too much mucking around with connecting it to different cells all the time, and then it's not gonna work. Okay, give me a few days until the other ampere meters arrive, and then we do the test again properly.
The next day.
And this time we are not mucking around. We are not using this multimeter anymore, because otherwise people say, oh, one of the multimeters was different. That's why I bought 4 of them, 4 the same multimeters. So nobody can complain anymore. This is your official Andy's Garage test. The ProTech quality multimeter 1500. I don't know what 1500 stands for actually. Maybe 1500 yen or 1500 rubles. That's the cheapest plastic I've ever seen. But you know, $9.95 comes with a 9-volt battery already built in and 2 years warranty. Isn't that insane? Even this plastic looks cheap here. Yeah, I also bought these adapters here. This little metal bracket thingy situation. This is where the actual probe goes in. Like this. And then you have your probe with the crocodile clamp. How good is that? Huh? Now we can clamp it onto our terminals here of the battery straight away. So no mucking around with crocodile cables anymore here. all these fly leads will disappear. Okay, let me set this up quickly, professionally, and then we go ahead with the testing. I'm very keen to find out who is actually right. Okay, so battery number 1, 2, 3, 4, ampere meter 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to put them on 200 milliamps. All of them, yes. Okay, let me see if I can get the camera to hey. Oh, we need more space for the BMS as well. Hang on. It doesn't work. As soon as I connect the 4th ampere meter here for cell number 1, it doesn't work anymore. I swapped them around, swapped everything around. It's still, as soon as I connect a 4th ampere meter to cell number 1, the app freaks out. And now I found out why. See the wire? They have forgotten to solder it on. And I was wondering why it's not working. There we go. Nice solder. All right, let's continue. All right, my friends. I think we are back in business. Okay, let me organize these cables here a bit. Okay. Hang on, a little bit further this way, so we can see the BMS as well. I haven't got space. Hang on. All right, so now we should be able to see everything. So cell number 1, 2, 3, 4, and the BMS here on this side, hopefully. All right, we are connected. All cells are pretty much in balance, apart from number 4. Number 4 is a bit low. 39 millivolt deviation we have. There's no charger connected, but I'll do this right now. Okay, we are charging. Let's see what happens. Oh, we can see cell number 1 is balanced, but nothing else. Cell number 1 is high, 3.4 volts almost. Everything else is low. Just one cell. Look at this. 17 millivolt is for the BMS. Only one cell gets balanced. Cell number 1. Nothing else. Number 3 is at 3.4 now as well. So number 1 and number 3 are higher than the other ones, but still nothing. Just one cell. Look at this. Huh? Looks like our power pole is right. Just one cell, just the highest cell gets balanced. Look, number 3 is over 3.41 now, and there's no current. No balancing happening at all. Just one cell. Number 2 is at 3.4 now, and number 4 is still our lowest, which is fine. Just one cell at a time. Is that true? Let's wait. Number 1, 2, and 3 are all over 3.4, while number 4 is still our lowest, and we are balancing only cell number 1, which is our highest. Is power pole right and everyone else wrong? I mean, if this is the case, I have to downvote the DALY again. I can't make it great again, because this is even worse than I actually thought. It should balance actually all 3 of these cells to get them down to cell number 4, because this is our lowest one. Look at this, 3.4, 3.41. Let's see what happens when we have higher voltages in these cells. But at the moment it looks like it's balancing only one cell at a time. Oh, now we can see number 3 is kicking in as well, and number 1 has stopped. And we can see a negative current here. This is what I missed in the first video I made about the DALY, and now it swaps back to number 1. Negative means there is a return current from one positive to a negative terminal of one of the battery cells. There we go. See, it's balancing number 3, and the return current goes through the balance lead number 2 back to number 3. That's why it is negative. Okay, definitely it balances only one cell at a time. So number 3 is our highest with 3 millivolt over number 1. And this is exactly what I have missed in my first video I made. I was just looking at the number and said, oh yeah, it's balancing now number 2. No, it's not. It is the return current. And some of you have picked this actually up. It was a negative symbol ahead of this number. I didn't pay attention to that. Well, I guess that's why I make these videos public, so other people can check on it. Yeah, number 3 is definitely our highest cell, 3.48. Okay, so what we are going to do now is, while the whole thing is charging here, I'm going to discharge number 3 now, just with our light bulbs. Hang on, I can put you a little bit further this way. Just want to discharge number 3. Oh yeah. Balancing has stopped altogether. Number 1 is balancing again. Number 1 is the highest cell. Okay, I'm releasing number 3 again. Charger is still on, as you can see in the balance function as well. Now number 1 is our highest cell again. And there's nothing else happening. Okay, let me try something else. I want to discharge number 1, 2 and 3 at the same time. Wow, that is bright. And now we can see number 4 is our highest cell, and we can see the balance current through number 4 plus the 17 milliamps for the BMS. Okay, there we go. And number 3 shows us the negative return current from cell number 4 going backwards to the negative terminal of cell number 4. That's why we have a negative, but there's nothing else happening here on all the other cells. So definitely it is balancing only one cell at a time, the highest. And this is why it takes so long to actually get your battery pack under control, if you have an imbalance at all. So what's the verdict now of all this testing I've done here with the DALY BMS, all these weird constructions, trying to find out how the BMS actually balance? Well, I think it is important to know what the differences are between different BMSs, different balance methods, especially when you build your battery and you design your setup. It is quite important to know how a BMS actually balances. If you have older cells, for example, and they drift a lot during charging and discharging, probably the DALY BMS is not the best one to choose. Because as we have seen, it balances only one cell at a time while charging. It shaves off a little bit of current every time you charge up. So this cell gets a bit less charge and comes down in state of charge over time. Yeah, but if you have a lot of drift in your battery pack, the DALY BMS will not cope with that and cannot keep up to keep your batteries in balance. And also you cannot top balance your battery pack with this device, because as we know, it balances only while charging. All the other BMSs we have tested so far, the QUCC and the JK BMS, you can just turn on the balancer and it will balance your battery pack overnight. And you've got a perfectly nice equalized battery pack again in the morning without you doing anything. And as we have seen with the QUCC BMS, it actually balances all the cells which are over the set balance start threshold you have set in the app. And it also balances with 200 milliamps, which is almost 7 times more than the DALY BMS. So balancing will occur a lot faster than with the DALY. And then with the JK BMS, of course, we've got the active 2 amp balancer in it. It does not bleed off the energy of your cell. It doesn't use resistive load to discharge your battery cell. It takes active balancing. So it takes away the energy from one cell and puts it into another one with less voltage. And obviously this is the most efficient way to balance your battery pack. I still think the DALY BMS balance method is a bit outdated, a bit old school, and now balancing only one cell, only while charging, with 25, 26 milliamps only. But many people have left comments under my videos and shared their experience, And obviously the DALY BMSs are working. Will Pros has confirmed this as well in a comment under my last video. So the DALY BMSs are working. I still just don't quite like them as much as the other ones. Okay guys, so far the testing with the DALY BMS, I think we have tested everything now. We know how it balances, how efficient it is with balancing. And it is time to move on. Battery number 2 is waiting here on the workbench. And we are going to set this all up very soon as the parts have arrived. I thought they're coming before the weekend. Obviously they haven't arrived. Man, I've got so much work. So as long as we've got this set up here on the workbench, let me know if you want me to do any other testing with this configuration here. I don't know, maybe someone has a special request for this setup to see what is happening. Happy to do this until all the parts for battery number 2 shelf here have arrived and we can continue building up this shelf. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your support here on the channel, for all your beer donations, for everyone who has bought t-shirts and mugs and stickers and hoodies and caps and hats and bags and all the other stuff I've got on this website. And until the next video guys, stay charged, stay safe, and thank you again for watching. See you then, bye bye.